Have you
Okay,
used
I
Zoom?
just got, yeah, I just got the audio on.
Have you used Zoom in the past?
I have, but
Oh.
I've just had to join. Other people set it up.
Okay.
So my mom's here too.
I see. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. She's a super sewer. We love her. All right. Well, we might as well get started, and the others will just have to join us when they get here. So I'll start by just giving a little statement, and then we'll go to Sharon. During the coronavirus, masks were in short supply. N95 masks that were available went to frontline responders, and then there still weren't enough for those brave individuals. That's when we, working women behind the scenes, began with a Facebook post to recruit volunteers to sew. 82 women, all total. Lebanon County, Pennsylvania became our mission field, and frontline responders our priority. Once the Good Samaritan Hospital, fire and ambulance companies, police, nursing homes, and other senior complexes were serviced, community mask days took place throughout the county, and the last 2 days were in partnership with WellSpan. Your love and trust and genuine, heartwarming participation just meant so much. You earned angel wings with all of your hard work and dedication. You are all heroes, and I want to say thank you. Sharon, would you like to say anything?
Oh, well, it was my pleasure to help with this. As soon as I saw a post saying that their eyes and fabric masks were being used by other health institutions, well, I knew there were sewing machines and fabric in a lot of households here in the area. What I didn't expect was that the elastic would be in short supply, but you know, we kind of worked through that, and there's a lot more elastic found in sewing machine drawers that people hadn't cleaned out in years than what anyone would have expected. So it was, you know, it was great helping with this effort.
Thank you, Sharon. Then at this time, how about if we ask each of you to give us a little something either about yourself or what you enjoyed the most. Oh, there's Bonnie's picture. Yay. Okay,
Hi,
we
Bonnie.
can see everybody. Let's start with Beth.
Okay, well, I stumbled upon Joellen's last week in March, and it was a Saturday afternoon, and I reached out to her, and she put me in touch with Sharon, because at that time I had maybe about a dozen or so that I could contribute, plus some fat quarters of fabric. And in return, I got some elastic and flannel, and that got me started. And well, I've been a quilter for literally decades, so I had plenty of fabric on hand. But yes, the elastic was an issue, so I frequently exchanged masks for elastic over at Joellen's. And so I think for you, and 10 for Cedar Crest High School for their staff, and then 20 or so for family and friends, and then the rest for us. So about, and husband made about half a dozen all by himself. And I finally kind of got burned out of it about the second week in May and went back to my quilt making.
Well, thank you, Beth. And Vera, how about you? Can you tell us what was your favorite part?
I guess I like sewing any part, and
Any part.
I sewed masks until I had over 1,000 masks made. So.
You're a hero. You really are. That was amazing. And Diane, how about you? What's your favorite part?
Getting back to sewing, I had done many years, and so just sitting back down at my sewing machine again was nice. I started out sewing for family and friends, and then some of my friends had pediatric practices, so I sewed for those pediatric practices, and then various papers and the postmistress, and then the Good Samaritan Hospital. I've also, before I joined this group, I had joined this sewing group called Stitchers Corps of Central Pennsylvania, and made masks with them. And now I'm sewing isolation gowns for the Stitchers Corps of Central Pennsylvania. And there are various nursing homes that have asked for isolation gowns. And so they take some more time and effort than the masks do, but that's what I'm currently working on mostly.
Thank you. And Bonnie, we'll get her when she comes back. She had to step away for a minute there. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you about is we have this idea of holding a picnic to celebrate the success of making and delivering 8,500 masks in the community. And so you can meet all of your fellow team members if they're all invited. And I was wondering, the day after the holiday, the 5th, it's a Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3. Is that something that you think would be workable or not?
You got interrupted. Was that July 5th?
July 5, from 1 to 3. It's a Sunday afternoon after the holiday is over.
Where are you planning for the
At
picnic?
Swatara Watershed Park, 1929 Blacksbridge Road.
Okay.
And we have a pavilion with 10 picnic tables, and we have 2 grills, we have electricity and running water that's potable.
Okay. I mean, I would think that date and that place would be workable for me.
And how about the rest of you ladies?
I'm not sure. I might be going to the shore. I'm not positive. So
Okay.
if I'm around, yes.
All right. It's right after we go green, so if we have more than 25, that's okay. So that means, you know, if you want to bring a spouse or a grandchild, it would be okay. But I was thinking that in the instructions, we would say to wear a mask because, 1, we made them, and 2, just so we try not to contaminate just in case somebody has gone somewhere. For the most part, we've been isolating, and I thought the longer it goes, the bigger chance we're going to have of picking something up and spreading it. This way we're coming out of quarantine and we can all be pretty safe. And one of the things we'd like to do is distribute this book that we made. It's 60 pages long, and it's called Mask Makers. From some of the donations that were received, we wanted to get thank yous and keepsakes for everyone. And so we had 100 of these printed. And they were done at a local printer, Color Tech. And somebody else is trying to join. Oh, here, let me get them on here. Admit, Judith and Jude Ab. I don't know who they are. But Judith is now joining us. Hello, Judith. How are you?
Hi, Judith.
Does she have her, is she unmuted? I think she is. I don't see that it says muted. Okay, Bonnie, you weren't at your station there. Oops, she disappeared again. All right. Judith, why did you join us with helping to make masks?
Because I felt there was a need and it was a way I could contribute.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Right now, we're talking about having a picnic on July the 5th at Swatara Watershed Park. And it would be from 1 to 3. It's a Sunday afternoon, so that you can meet the other ladies who have been sewing in person to distribute these books that we had printed as a thank you for you. And also we have subs from Bruno's. He wanted to give everybody a sub coupon. So we thought that was kind of a nice thing as well. Further, the YMCA was given, I want to say 125 masks. I'd have to look at the numbers to be sure, because they are getting set to reopen, and all of their staff, they really needed some. And they wanted to support us, and so what they did was said, can we help to donate some food? So I thought if I could ask them if they want to donate like hamburgers and hot dogs for us to cook, that would be nice. And then I didn't know if anybody would be willing to bring a covered dish, or a bag of chips or something of that nature, that we could supplement that. Does that sound workable?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds workable to me.
Okay, then that's what we'll do to tell the others. And we'll just say, what I did, you'll see at the bottom when we get to the end, I'll jump to that now. I created a survey monkey to ask a lot of the questions that I'm asking you today right here. But in case something didn't fly, I wanted a chance to be able to alter that before I actually send out the survey link. And in there, it will automatically tabulate for me, yes, no, that sort of thing, who's attending, who's not. So we know how many to prepare for, and then we'll share those numbers. Next on the list is the Allen Theater Film Festival. That's 2 weeks after we go green, which would be probably the following weekend. And it highlights the community. And I think of interest to you would be the film about our mask makers. I was able to take a lot of the pictures that we had and of our first responders, and quite frankly, some of you, and put it into a nice little 3 to 5 minute movie and add some music to it. And they seemed pleased with it. So I don't know. I thought you'd like to see it. Now, afterwards, I may also post it on YouTube, but if you want to be part of that celebration, I think it would be kind of cool. I don't have a date yet, but as soon as it's available, I will let you know. Next, I see Missy isn't here yet, but I was so inspired by her story of not knowing how to sew before all of this and going to her mother-in-law and asking her to teach her because she really wanted to do this. And as she was inspired and was sewing and learning and having success and was proud to share with her family, her 2 children, a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old, begged to be able to sew, started sewing, and her husband even sewed the straights, not the pleats, but the straights, they called them. And so it was just so inspiring. And I've heard some requests for children's masks, but quite frankly, they are available commercially now and probably cheaper than we can make them, especially with the time involved. So my thoughts, however, went to Missy's story, and I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be great to teach the next generation to sew, even if it's by hand? So I don't know if you're all burned out and you just plain need a break, or you'd have any interest in maybe making some packets of cut material with cut elastic. And then I guess we'd have to find some of those little sewing kits or something to put in with thread and needles and make them available for Bible schools or day camps that are happening virtually, where the parents could pick up the supplies and take them home, and then they do it online with the kids. Just think about that, and you can answer it in the Survey Monkey unless you have feedback now.
Nope.
Think about it. Okay. Then the next thing is that during the process and the evolution of what was going on, oh, there's Bonnie. We had lost her for a bit. Welcome back, Bonnie. During the evolution of our mask making, we realized that the community needed masks as well. And so we started our community mask days. And during those mask days, of which I think there might have been a total of 9 or 10, what happened was people insisted. Pennsylvania Dutch people are proud people, and so many insisted they wanted to give us money for these masks. And so I said, okay, I'll put up a donation jar. And I thought, you know, $5-10 we'll get in a day or something. Well, that first day we got $571 and over 500 the next time, you know, and sometimes 300 and sometimes 200. But whatever it was, we also knew that we should have somebody who is trained in traffic control because of access to the roads. And indeed, we got our first responders, and they showed up. And each time, all the money that was collected, because we were supporting first line responder, it was turned over to them. And in turning it over to them, it was at a time when their need was really great because they couldn't do any fundraising. And so it really supplemented some of the bills that they had to keep going. And it just felt right. And things happened so quickly. We didn't have time to do something like this and have a meeting. Sometimes decisions were made in the field, quite frankly, and Sharon and I tried to protect all the rest of the members, both from catching the virus and, shall I say, financially, because if anybody was going to sue somebody, they're going to sue the people they see. And we both have a business background and have handled situations like that in the past. And we didn't know your backgrounds and how comfortable you would be with that. So we took that on. And of course, we took some criticism where people said, oh, you just wanted your picture this way. No, you know, that was part of what we did to celebrate, especially celebrating every 1,000 Mass, so that we could report back to you, this is what's happening, and hopefully keep you inspired to continue sewing. So that was pretty long to say that we collected $2,000, over $2,000, that was turned over to the frontliners at our different events. But we also got some donations behind the scenes when people were picking up masks. Again, I never asked for anything. In fact, I'd say, we don't expect anything. And they'd say, well, we won't take them unless you'll take this money. And so I kept putting it in an envelope, and lo and behold, like I said, we had plenty of money to be able to purchase the 500 books, which I think cost a little over $500. So the books were $1 and some cents to print. But I thought a keepsake, a history book for you that you can share with your family and friends, is certainly a small token of appreciation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that it's received in the spirit that it's given. And then finally, well, not finally, but what I wanted to say next is that this money has accumulated, and when I sat down and counted, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea there was that much there. But in short, we have $1,500 in round figures. And so Sharon and I talked about this, and we have a proposal for you to donate this in thirds to 501c3 nonprofits in the community. And first would be to feed the hungry by donating a third to Lebanon County Christian Ministries, because they are the county's official food bank, and if the need is there, they can distribute to Joy or the pantry in Palmyra or wherever is needed, because they do have a handle and a link to all of those people. And the next would be to enrich people's lives because they've been cooped up for so long. And Sharon happens to be the, I don't know, is it president or chairwoman or
Yeah, president.
president of the Arts Council in Lebanon. I don't know if you knew that about Sharon. And they are I think this Friday, having at the Quittaba Creek a walk between 7th and 12th Street along the stream, and artists will be set up, and you'll be able to stroll through there. And they teach children, and they do tile murals and all kinds of great stuff. And then third is the Swatara Watershed Association, where we'll be having our picnic. And I just happen to be president of that, but our mission there is to provide clean water. That is our #1 goal. And without clean water, we won't survive. And we also do outdoor recreation. And to that end, we had a boat launch washout in Tropical Storm Lee. That was in 2011. Didn't have the money to replace it, and we've been raising funds this last year, and we're so close, but it was like, I want to say $5,000 for the boat launch that we're getting, and it would be nice if a third would go to help with those causes there. So just one more caveat to that. There is CARES Act funding coming for businesses and some nonprofits to help them recoup losses. But as a county commissioner, I have to vote on those grants, and it would be a conflict of interest if I would submit for the Watershed Association. So this would be a little way to help with some of those losses for us, and to be able to finally get that boat dock in place. So now that you've heard all that, I'm ready to get plastered for the suggestions, or tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. Anybody?
I want to start out by saying thank you for all your efforts and everybody. And I just am proud to be part of this group, and to see it blossoming into helping people in so many different ways.
And Diane, thank you. I understand that, aren't you the one that also became a contact tracer?
Well,
you
I'm
just-
certified.
Yes.
I've got a certificate to become it, but nobody's hired me yet.
Okay, well, they're supposed to be a fellow is supposed to be contacting you and getting you 3 hours of additional training through the Pennsylvania network, because that's on top of being certified elsewhere.
Okay.
They said they're going to be doing that, so hopefully it'll work out for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm. Anyone else? If not, you can just vote when you get your Survey Monkey, and we'll take it from there. And we mentioned a Survey Monkey quite a bit. I have a link that I will post on our Facebook chat, and that way everybody can give us the feedback that they desire. And should we continue with this group? This is the final thing, unless somebody else has things to say. I tried to be efficient, and I've talked a lot, but I know we have 40 minutes free. I didn't pay for this, so this is a free service that they provide. Should we continue the group or collect contact information should another need arise? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it
Well,
would
it's no
be
big deal.
good to,
Sharon?
yeah. Okay, I think it would be good to keep things convenient. So if somebody says we need 200 masks, that we can get them out to them quickly. I mean, we've seen what's going on in Florida and Texas, and it's not very comforting.
Okay, there's a link. One of the questions asks for your email address. If everybody will fill that in, that would be one way to collect contact information should our chat disappear on Facebook if it's not active for a while.
Okay.
Oh.
Who else was going to say something?
I'm curious in regards.
I was just going to say I was just going to say if it's convenient, I don't know where my picture went. If it's convenient to keep it up, then we can do that.
Yes, we can keep it up. Was that Beth talking?
If it's convenient to keep the chat group up, I don't know either if it has to remain active. And people are free to leave the group if they want to.
Yes,
But
that's
if
true.
the group and then need to contact, that's one thing. But yeah, the Survey Monkey, if you put our input for our email addresses, then you can get back in touch with us if you need.
Yeah, I thought it would just be a good backup. Anybody else? Okay, well, if you're so inclined, there will be a little link where you can fill in your email, and then that way we'll have that as a backup should we need to get hold of you if something comes up that seems really, really critical that we kick into gear again. Okay. Does anybody have any closing remarks?
I have one quick question, please.
Yes, Judith.
In regards to the picnic and people bringing things to supplement the meal, how wise is it at this time to bring home prepared products to be shared as opposed to packaged products?
Well, we could do it. We could say bring a packaged product. That's a very good point. And maybe even individually packaged products so nobody has to handle it. Because you'll be washing your hands, and like you could put it into small containers or something. That's a good idea.
Not knowing whose kitchens it's coming from, and they're all gracious ladies that are doing this, but I know that it's still a fear. With contamination, it is still a fear, especially like salads, that type of thing that are prone to spoiling. Just my thought.
Well, we can say a commercially prepared salad that is individually packaged would be preferable. How's that?
I think that's probably wise. That was my one question regarding that.
Okay, because like ASK is handy and they have macaroni salad.
Right.
And there's fruit salads at the grocery store that are already cut up, things like that. And I can have a I have a blow up inflatable, I don't know if it's 4 feet long and 2 feet wide, and you can just put ice in it. It's like a portable blow up cooler, and then you can just set everything in there to keep it cold. Okay, anybody else?
Nope.
Well, then I guess we'll just say thank you so much. You guys, again, you're just terrific. And I really appreciate everything you've done. The community appreciates you. The frontline responders appreciate you. And you've earned your place in history as well as your angel wings. So when you see the book, hopefully, part of the plan is to donate a couple, I think there's might be 7 libraries, maybe donate 7 copies to the libraries so that others can check it out and, you know, be able to share in our, and I can also make a PDF and put it on my website if you'd like to share it that way. I don't know if emailing it might be too big to email, but I'm going to give it a try to put it on the website perhaps. We'll figure out some creative ways to share it otherwise, but to print more than 100, I didn't want to spend all that money. I thought it was better to go to nonprofits in the community, so. Oh, we're out of time. Oh, it says 10 minutes, but I'm okay. I thought it was cutting me off immediately, but so thank you and have a lovely day. And thanks for taking time out of your Sunday.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.